Hello everyone, welcome back to our ComputerCraft series. This is part 14 and today we shall continue with our wireless setup. In the last episode we did a little bit of work on sending stuff to somewhere else in the network, and today we are going to try and receive that data and also work that back to the original table. So that's the goal. It might going to be look like a little bit different than it does at the moment, but we shall see. Just as a little bit of a reminder of what we did last time to set it all up. We defined our sending protocol with all the information, which is the version of the sending protocol. In this case it's version 1, and most likely there are going to be much more iterations from here on. Our information we will send in a table format this time: the location of the current device, the information about the device itself, what type of device that is, for example an advanced computer in this case, or an advanced turtle if we are working with a turtle, and also for a normal or an advanced pocket computer. That's what we have done. Then what the function of that device actually is. In this case, of course, it's just for testing. And then generate timestamp, time and day. So that's kind of what we set up with it. Then we convert all of this into a string using all those. Then finally we string the to send information. That's stuff that's going to be returned eventually to your program. So that's kind of how we have it set up at the moment. I did do a test run earlier today on which we didn't get it working, but off camera I figured out that this to send was previously outside of the if statement, so it would not really know what to send back, and actually it would return a nil. It was kind of hidden, but that was what was happening. And well, it took me about, I think, 30 seconds or so to notice that it was outside of the if statement, and in that way it just would not work since the local to send variable was not defined, or is not defined out of this if statement. So if you return it later than it is defined, well, it would not really know what to define, and in order it would return a nil. That's kind of what gave some kind of an error which didn't send information at all. So it wasn't received on the other side, and that was exactly what we saw last time. So I changed it to be included in the if statement. So this to send variable was actually declared like at all, and now it just behaves like we expect it to behave. There's a kind of a recap and changes I did along the way. So today we are going to work on the other side, which is going to be a separate computer, which is not that far away this time. We can switch easily between the two devices that we are working on. So this is, ID is this, it's 86, and this one doesn't have any ID or label at the moment. Get info. Why not? It doesn't really matter. This is 87. It has handy for me as a reference on which file or which folder I have to work with. Let's copy everything over. Actually make that folder. You always need to make a file in there in order to have it recognized. Just one thing. Let's close all of these now and open them once again. Since we do know that the sending part works, we just need to make sure that the receiving part is working as well. So let's see, is there something we need to change? That's still true, that's still true. Modem open, we are still going to send. Open config channel, you have to config, that's still correct. Only this part is going to be different, of course. Since we won't be transmitting data here, we are just receiving data this time. And since we are on the receiving side, we need to do stuff kind of in the inverse way as we did it earlier. So we, well, need to receive data. We need to work that all the way back to a table, and then for now print some stuff out of that table just as a reference. So let's start with the actual loop this time. So we are going to be in a while loop, otherwise we will end at some point. That's not really handy. Let's declare some variables here. We have some inputs. We have, I think that's going to be it actually. We are going to use the pull event function from the OS API, and that's going to pretty much wait until something happens. It may sound a bit weird to do it in that way, but it's well, if you are used to it, it makes much more sense. And that input os.pull the events can do some really nice stuff with this. And I won't go into that right now. And that's going to return some kind of a value. It's actually going to return quite a lot of stuff. I want all of that inside of a table. This is one of the ways that you can do that. I only want it to happen at a modem message. Underscore message. And in one of the previous episodes we have seen that you can specify which event is going to trigger, or event is going to happen, or the trigger. It's kind of the same two words for the same thing. And in case of a modem action, that's a modem message. That will already filter out quite a lot of nonsense that's going to float through the air. So technically that does already have the information that we need. So print message in if we receive something. So the channel is open, it is running, I see that it is running. It got a message in. And I can bash the keyboard. And I see that I won't get any other event, since all of that is well, excluded thanks to the modem message. So now the interesting part. Well, we do know what kind of information we are going to get, which is exactly this send info. This is what we are going to get, so that should be the end result of everything that we are going to do right now. Function, whoa. How shall we call this function? Convert info. It's kind of in the same vein as we got this time. Since we had send info, now we need to convert the info. Well, kind of makes sense. And for this we need some kind of input, which is actually the input that we receive from our event that triggered, or the event that happened. So we will get pretty much this stringed version of the information. Okay, equals text utils dot unserialize. I find it such a difficult word to say or to write down. So that should give us something. According to the version, we can actually work that out a bit. Let's wait with that for now. Just see if it actually gets something, some information. Return info. I think this is the absolute basic of what we are doing. Print convert info from input. Yeah, let's see what's going to happen. Ideally it would work, but I'm not really expecting it to work. And just send it, and we did something wrong. On line 18, that's here. Oh, of course. It's from the Brave API. Okay, makes sense. At least got to that point. So we have something, and it broke again. Okay. Line 96, which is here. That argument, expected string got table. Okay. How did it get a table? Oh yeah, it is input as a table, yeah. I believe it's number 4 of the table. That's correct. Since we did declare as a table all the information up here, all of this is inside of a table. We only need one part of that, which is, I believe, number 4. Yes, the first one is the type of event that happened, which is a modem message. The second one is the site from where it happened. The third one is the device, I believe. And then the fourth one is well, the actual message. These are 3 things in front of it before it's actually sending stuff. String expected got number. Number? Okay, that's not what I was expecting. Let's comment this out for now and actually figure out what is going on. Print text utils dot serialize input, so we can actually see what's going on. Yeah, it can happen that something goes wrong, but it would be nice to know why it goes wrong. It does send all the information. So where does it go wrong? Also, I have no clue where all those backslashes come from. It is kind of a mess, but it got a number, which doesn't make sense to me. I'm not seeing everything, that's kind of the thing. do this in a slow print. I have no clue if that's going to work. Text utils slow print. I must say, it could be that this is the first time I actually find that useful. Yeah. So it's a modem message, the site, info. Oh, it's number 5. Would that be what is happening? Maybe. Otherwise, I need to look it up once again. Okay, let's send it one more time. That got us some table information. Okay, so it is trying to print a table. Message in and then print whatever comes out here is a table. Well, that makes sense. That is actually quite good. This is already recognizing this as a table and no longer as a string, which it did like a moment ago. Where do we go from here? So this is some filling of information. You can also specify version. That would be awesome. Not sure if that works in this way, but actually restart it once. Try to give some more randomness. It gives number 1. It was version 1. That could be working. What else can we check for? Info isn't there yet, device isn't there. Can check for day, maybe? Day. Save. Okay, that started something. Something didn't crash. And that is actually the day in game that it is running at. So I think that first conversion is working. So now you just need to convert all the others as well. Yeah. Info. How shall we do that? With info. Let's start with the info. It's a bit weird to look at it, but since we have info and info. Okay. Equals. I'm just going to make my life a bit easier. And this is input. Info, and that should get us back a whole long way. V, and we will do the same with location and with device. Location and device. Device. It's getting a bit late, so don't mind me. And let's see if all of that going through. Save it. Restart this one, including a program. Not sure what it's going to check for at the moment. Day. Let's do something else. Let's do the device, and then type. Is that something it needs to generate all the way? It doesn't have any kind of input from our side on that. It broke something, that's good. And it says in the Brave API on line 97, which is this one actually, 91, oh, 97, yes, 99, 90, okay, it's in the info one, where it goes wrong. That argument. String, expected string got nil. Input, oh, it needs to be info, of course. Info, this one as well. That's what happens when you copy paste. Let it be a lesson. So I send it one more time. And it didn't break. And it did work. So we are sending over all the information. And the table is regenerating on the other side. And I think that's a rather important step. Is this does indeed mean that we can send more information over the network and convert it from one way and convert it from one table to a string, send it over the network, receive it as a string, convert it back to a table, so we can work with it once again. So that's, if you ask me, quite a lot of progress. And also with that, a good wrapping up point for this part of the series. Next time we are going to make it a bit more robust, add a few more comments, so make our code look a little bit neater. On this episode we made the functionality, and next episode we are going to refine it. At least that's the plan. I hope you have learned something. If you do, or if you have any kind of suggestion, please leave it in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.